For the next 8 days, we have 4 turn attack tournaments, one in each of the classic dungeons. As you can see here, we start with Fire Knight. It is already live. Now, I have covered turn attack tournaments in detail before, but in today's video, I'm going to put it all together for you to finally answer the question, which stage is the most efficient for you to farm for any turn attack tournament you ever see from now until you stop playing Raid. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Just a reminder, I have started playing King Arthur Legends Rise. I'm running it in the background even when I'm creating a raid video. If you're interested in trying out King Arthur Legends Rise, please click my download link in the description of this video. Also, come to our Discord community because we've got a clan in the game. You could join us. We have a few spots left. If we get enough interest, we'll create more clans. Now, I'm having a lot of fun with this game, but I understand that this is a raid channel, so smash that like button, hit subscribe, and then I'll take you back to a raid video. Simple as that. Here we are on the tournament page. You can see there is a Fire Knight turn attack tournament that is ongoing. I'm going to use this tournament as the example, but remember, the system I'm going to show you works for every single turn attack tournament for a normal dungeon at the very least that you're ever going to see from now until the end of time, or they change the rules for turn attack tournament. Speaking of rules, let's go ahead and jump in here and just refresh ourselves on the rules for turn attack tournaments. Instead of getting points for our artifact drops like we get in normal tournaments, we get points instead based on the number of turns it takes us to clear the stage that we're fighting. And as you can see, the stages are grouped. So stages 1 through 3 are grouped. And that's because they all take the same amount of energy in order to battle those stages. Now, stages 4 through 7 are grouped with energy. So 1 through 3 is 8 energy, I think. 4 through 7 is 10. 8 through 11 is 12, so on and so forth as you go up. And so all of the stages that have the same amount of energy are grouped together. And because of the way the points works, this means that it's typically easier. You're going to clear a stage faster if it's at the bottom of the grouping. So stage 17 is easier to clear than stage 20, and therefore you're likely to do it in fewer turns and therefore get more points. However, you can see there is a minimum and a maximum. So you can't get fewer than 15 points here at stage 17 through 20, and you can't get more than 53. So if you are getting 53 points at stage 20, there's no reason to drop down to 19, 18, or 17, right? However, you have to factor in things like affinity, right? Maybe you can clear a certain affinity faster than another affinity. So maybe the affinity at stage 18 is better than 17 or better than 20. So you want to consider that as well. But really, you're looking to get as close to the maximum number of points as you can within any given grouping, right? And if you can max out, that's going to be the most efficient for that grouping. But how do we compare the different groupings against each other? That's really what we're talking about in today's video. And as you can see, the hard mode stages are also grouped, even though they all cost 20 energy. So you can get more points for a higher stage for the same amount of energy. So that may be more efficient. But again, we need to compare hard modes to other hard modes. We need to compare hard modes to normal modes and normal modes to other normal modes. So I put together a little chart to help you with that. But before we start looking at the chart, I want to just go ahead to the Fire Knight tournament and start my first run because we're going to use my results to show you how this system works. Here we are on hard mode stage 10. I'm going to fire this one off. Now, this is not my fastest team or my fewest turns team. It just tends to be my most reliable. It's close to 100% clear. Hopefully it won't fail today. It might be like 99% chance. It's a very good chance that it will win. There are 2 results here that happen. One where Neldor misses his slow, which happens 6% of the time. And then we have a worse result. And when he lands the slow, we have a better result. It's never actually failed for me, but I think it might be possible if Neldor misses his slow. But sometimes he misses it and it still wins. Anyway, this is 2 ally attack champions and a bunch of freeze champions and Newt for damage. Doesn't clear the waves quickly, but is good into the boss. I'm going to start this one up, and we're going to use the results from this run in our calculation. But let me go ahead and show you that chart I was talking about. So I put this together. You can go ahead and look at this. This is something you can do on your own. You don't need this particular chart. This is all information that you have available to you. Okay, and even the calculation, I'll tell you how to do that. It's not difficult at all. You can do it with a pencil and some paper or a calculator. It's really easy stuff. So in the left-hand column, we have the stage, as you can see, normals up to hard modes. So again, this is just the groupings that we just saw in the chart in game 1 through 3, 4 through 7, so on and so forth. These are the energy requirements to run one battle. And that's just from literally the dungeon page. So you go in and normal 1 through 3 takes 8, stage 20 takes 16, hard mode 10 takes 20. Everything is, like I said, in the game and available to you. Now, this minimum number of points, this is that minimum point total that we saw for these groupings on the scoring chart. So you get a minimum of 4 points for stages 1 through 3 of normal. And at hard mode 10, you get a minimum of 30 points. So literally, you can't get fewer points than this. This column is the points per energy as the minimum. This is the fewest points you can get for each energy spent. Now, at normal 1 through 3, you can see it is half a point per energy, which means that the maximum number of energy that you could spend in order to get to the 2,650 point reward, that's the one where the snow points are currently, and it's one where usually the fusion fragments or champions would sit for a normal tournament during a fusion. So this is not the maximum reward. This is sort of that 2/3 way up where we're usually shooting for. This would take 5,300 energy at the worst performance level possible. The fewest points, right, per energy and at the lowest stage. Now, if you're running hard mode 10 and you're still getting the minimum, it only takes 1,767 points of energy to get that reward that we're all shooting for. Now, in a typical tournament, in a normal dungeon tournament, this usually takes between 2,000 and 2,100 energy, about 2,050 or 2,060, something like that. So this is 300 energy more efficient to get to the same reward stage when hard mode 10 is literally as bad as it can be. As long as you can complete it, you're going to get this done 300 energy faster than you would a normal tournament. So as you can see, turn attack tournaments are extremely efficient compared to regular tournaments, especially if you're not going for the minimum, right? Now, this is the maximum. So this is the maximum number of points in this column that you can get for any of the given stages. So even here, if you can clear stage 1 in the fewest number of turns, doesn't have to be 1 turn, but if you can do it in like 3 or 4 turns, I don't know exactly where those points drop. You can go ahead and experiment with that in game, but it would reward 1.63 points of tournament points per energy. So that means you could complete that tier of reward, that 2650 tier, in 1,631 energy. That's 400 energy more efficient than a regular dungeon tournament at stage 20, which is the most efficient stage for tournaments. So here at stage 1, it's more efficient for the same number of rewards. Again, turn attack tournaments are awesome. And as you can see, the efficiency increases rapidly to the point where if you are farming stage 17 to 20, if you can max out stage 20, you can get the maximum number of points, you can do this in 40%. 40% of the energy it would take to do a normal dungeon tournament. So obviously, hard mode 10 maxed out is going to be the most efficient. You can actually do it in 500 points of energy. I can't even get close to this. In fact, we're going to take a look behind the chart and see what my result was on stage 10 hard mode, and then we're going to actually plug that into the little calculator I created down here. So let's go ahead and look behind the chart. And as you can see, I have completed this in 76 turns, which is close to my best. And this is about where I land. I'm usually between 74 and 80 turns. That's around where I complete most frequently. And so you can see I got 55 points as a result. So what I've got here is I've got a little calculator, and I'm just going to go ahead and compare a couple of places. So the first thing I want to do is say, okay, at stage 10 hard mode, it takes 20 energy. So I'm going to put 20 energy in here. And then my result was 55 points. So we're going to put in 55 here. And as you can see, for 2,650 points, I only need 964 energy. It's going to take me 48 battles to do it if this is my consistent result. Now, if I fail some of the time, it's going to be less efficient, right? So I want to go as close to 100% success rate as I can. And then in addition, if it fluctuates, if this isn't the consistent result, if sometimes I get, 48 points, sometimes I get 55 points, if I jump around, that's going to change the number of battles I need and the energy I need. But this gives me a really good idea of where to farm or how efficient each place is. So I could be doing stage 10 in 500 energy. I can't do it though. As a free-to-play player, and I just don't have the gear and the champions, I don't think, to do hard mode 10 that fast. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into the game, and I'm going to try to compare this result to the result I might get somewhere else. Let's go ahead and look at this. Ooh, that's a nice chess piece. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down here to stage 4 of hard mode. Okay, so there we are. You can see 34 turns, a minute 24. Again, I could be recording the time if time efficiency mattered to me. In this particular case, it doesn't. I'm just worried about energy efficiency. But 54 points. Now, if we look at our chart, you can see that we were getting 55 points from hard mode 10. So this would actually be a worse result at a lower stage. So I would rather do hard mode 10 than hard mode 1 or hard mode 4, right? Now, I could test somewhere in the 5 to 9 range, preferably stage 5, and see if that did a little bit better. But since I already know that stage 10 is better than stage 1 for me, I'm not going to worry about 5 to 9 right now for the sake of this video. However, I do want to consider some of the normal stages. So again, I'm going to go back into the game here, and I'm going to go ahead and swap down to some normal stages. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to do stage 17 so you can see the comparison. So we're going to bring the chart back up and take a look at this. We're going to plug in here. We just did stage 17, which takes 16 energy. And we got a result of 36 points, which feels less efficient to me, but we can go ahead and see it now. It's like, yes, this will actually take me 1,178 energy and 74 battles. So I can compare stage 10 of hard mode here to stage 17 of normal mode. And even though it is possible at stage 17 to exceed the efficiency that I was getting from stage 10 of hard mode, I'm not currently doing it. So I either need to improve that team if I want to farm stage 17, or just accept the fact that I'm going to be farming stage hard mode 10 to be as efficient as possible. Now, it will take more time per run, but I'm only going to need 48 battles, and I need less than 1,000 energy to max out this turn attack tournament. So let me take you through this calculation so that you can do it on your own. It's really simple, right? So the first thing that you need is you need the energy of the stage, and then you need your result. Here you need your points goal. So whatever it is, I put in the 2650, but if you wanted to go to the 5,000, you would just put that there, okay? So again, where are you going to put this? We're going to give you the calculation right now. So the calculation here for energy needed is your points goal divided by your points result over the stage energy required. So basically what this is you divide your points result by the stage energy required. So 55 divided by 20, right? That gives me that 2.75. And now I know I'm getting 2.75 points per energy, so I divide my points goal by 2.75. I should probably write this out, but basically it looks like this, 2,650, and I'm going to divide that by the 2.75. Now I got the 2.75 by dividing 55 divided by 20, right? So this right here is going to tell me my energy needed. It's 964. Now, if I want to figure out the number of runs that's going to take, right, then I can literally just divide 964 by 20. Right? Because each run is 20. So divide this by 20, I'm going to get 48. Right? So 964 divided by 20. I don't know why that's bold. Doesn't need to be bold. Okay. So those are basically the calculations here, right? And you can do this again on a calculator, piece of paper. You can make a little sheet like this for yourself if you wanted to. But hopefully this starts to show you visually what you probably already know to be true, which is that hard mode 10 is the best place to farm turn attack tournaments if you can do it. And if you can't, that's fine, because you can literally be really efficient at almost any stage of the way. Drops will be a consideration. Time will be a consideration. But if you want to be energy efficient, this is the way to figure out how to be energy efficient and how to compare the results from stages that don't require the same amount of energy. It's really easy to just compare, you know, say hard mode 4 or 5 to, you know, the same energy at normal 25, right? Because you just look at the points that you're getting. You're like, it's all the same energy from normal 25 all the way up to hard mode 10. But when you're comparing hard mode 10 or hard mode 3 or whatever to normal 17 or to normal 6 or whatever, that takes a little bit more work, and you have to figure out the number of points you're getting per energy, basically. You don't really care about this stuff that much. You don't care about the energy needed. You don't care about the number of battles. What you care about is the points per energy, right? This is just helpful when you're like doing auto battles. I can now go back to the game and plug in, you know, 40 auto battles, and now I'm going to hit what I need, right? Because like I've already done 8 or something. So, and again, if I wanted to, I could just change the total here of the points. And so I could do that really easily and say, you know, I only need 2,000 points. So that's only going to take me 36 runs. You can see that right there. So again, if you wanted to set this up for yourself, you could, or you could just do it with a pen and a pad, but do a little bit of analysis. Check out your results in a couple of places. Don't forget to change the AI, by the way. Like, optimize your team for the stages that you're running before you compare the results, because otherwise you're not going to get a fair comparison. But then this will help you determine how to be as efficient as possible. And again, I hope this shows turn attack tournaments are a great place to get really good rewards, that whole reward track, for relatively little energy investment. So again, we're going here, you know, even if you wanted to go up to the full 5,000 and get everything, it's going to cost you less, probably in energy, than a regular tournament would get you only to the 2/3 mark, right? So if you're going for these snow points, great. If you're going all the way to max amount, great. If you want to do more Fire Knight because you want to get some of the gear drops, great. Then you may as well go all the way up. But pick an efficient stage that also gives you good drops. Okay, let me know in the comments below, was this helpful? Does this cap off what we need to do in order to cover turn attack tournaments well? Or did this just confuse the issue for you? Again, I hope it clarified things, but let me know in the comments below. And thanks so much for hanging out. I have been Colred. I will see you in another video soon.